Hey, welcome back. So today I want to talk a little bit about timing in the javelin throw. So there's three basic things that I'm concerned about when it comes to timing for the throw. And one is we want to get rhythm. Rhythm helps us in many different ways. One in particular is that it allows us to do some sort of movement without having to think about it. So that's number one, rhythm. Second thing is, because the sequence of the throw is pretty complicated, but there is a sequence, we need to kind of break it down into a smaller bite-sized piece. So start with something basic and then of course add complexity. So the third piece is speed. We want to start off with something slow and gradually get faster. We've got a runway, we've got plenty of room to get speed built up, but ultimately we got to start with something that's less complicated, and that means slow things down. So I am recovering from a collarbone injury, so instead of me doing a whole lot of throwing, I'm going to show you a video so I can kind of demonstrate what I mean by timing of the throw. All right, so you can see there's a sequence here. Mostly what I'm going to talk about is a sequence coming down from that impulse step, so landing from your crossover and moving into that delivery phase of your throw. And for me, it's really important that you utilize your left arm. The left shoulder, left arm is kind of leading, so as you're coming down the runway, that's the part that's in front. And of course, the javelin is really far behind us, so we need to be pulling that javelin into the throw. So that means the left shoulder can certainly be in the way. And the timing of your block is really tied into where that left shoulder is at that point of impact. All right, so I recommend using a towel, or maybe you could use a short piece of rope, but don't use a javelin initially. You could do some fake throws just by throwing a little bit of air, but I like to have a towel. It gives me something I can kind of feel and hear as it moves through the air. So the sequence is left shoulder, right hip, into the block, and then the strike, which is the upper body moving over the top. So what I'm looking for is trying to get those pieces in play and do it slowly. So before I even start drifting onto my front foot, I want to start moving that left arm. So I'm just going to start off, and I'm just kind of dropping. I'm actually going like 2 o'clock to about 7 o'clock on the clock dial. And it's not just the arm, right? It's not here. It's actually including the shoulder. So I'm dropping the arm and the shoulder through 2 o'clock to 7 o'clock. And it's totally independent of everything else that I'm doing. The next piece, and that is the hip has to start moving before you hit the block. It also has to happen before you strike. The difficulty is when you're doing it in drill form, it's really difficult to get the timing. So my suggestion is make sure your right foot is turned in about 40 to 45 degrees, and we're just gonna slide into the block, dropping the left arm and sliding into the block, assuming that the hip is kind of moving in front of the shoulder, okay? So again, 2 o'clock down to 7 o'clock, I'm just gonna drift. So left arm goes first, and just about below my sight line, I'm gonna slide and I'm gonna lock. Okay, so again, 2 o'clock to 7 o'clock, just below my sight line, I'm sliding in and I hit my block. The next phase, and this is where it gets a little bit more complicated and requires a little bit more timing and effort, and that is we need the upper body to begin striking. So again, I set up with that 40-45 degree foot, sliding into the block, and then I'm going to strike. Left arm, 2 o'clock, 7 o'clock, sliding in and strike. Again, we're starting off slow, gradually accelerating. 2 o'clock to 7 o'clock, sliding in, and then striking. Thanks again for watching. If you like content like this, please subscribe, hit that bell notification, give me a thumbs up. If you have questions or comments, please put them in that comment section below, and I will do my best to get back to you. And until I see you next time, have fun and throw far. Ooh, heard that pop.